This is section 5, linking verbs. So as a reminder of our definition that we're working with for a verb is a word or a group of words, a verb phrase, that expresses time, that's the tense part of it, while showing an action, a condition, a state of being, or a state of existence. Now we've looked at action verbs, our transitive and intransitive verbs, and today we're going to move on to linking verbs. So a linking verb specifically is a word or group of words that expresses time, tense, and notice we've shortened our definition. It's showing a condition, a state of being, or a state of existence. These are your verbs that are not actions. So let's take a look at a couple sentences that use linking verbs. I am weird. I'm not doing anything necessarily. I mean, I might be if you're like, wow, Miss Beck is really weird, but the sentence doesn't say what actions I'm performing. It's just giving you my state of being, my condition. I am this way. So I am weird. Am is one of our linking verbs. Now, if we take that to another direction, Miss Beck is weird. We've changed our subject, so now our verb has to shift just a little bit, but it still is functioning as that linking verb, that condition, that state of being verb. So am is one, is one, and logically are is going to be another one of them as well. Literature teachers, plural, are, plural verb, weird. There's no action taking place in these three sentences. We are describing I, Miss Beck, and literature teachers by talking about that condition, that state of being, that state of existence, by using linking verbs, is, am, are. If we take that to the past tense, we've got was, were, and you might be going, these sound like helping verbs. Yes, some verbs that work as helping verbs can also stand alone as a linking verb. So the same thing. The man is a famous actor. We're using that is verb. Notice we're not doing the description anymore, is weird. We're giving a state of existence, a condition. He is a famous actor. Again, he's not acting. It's not an action that's taking place right now. It's just a linking verb. The first one, the girl felt happy. She's not physically taking her hands and feeling something that is called happy. It is her state of existence. It is her condition. It is her state of being. She feels a certain kind of way. It's not an action, so it works as a linking verb. So here are some of our linking verbs, and these are the ones that can sometimes function as a helping verb. So you always want to double check in your sentence that you don't have a helping verb and that this is its own standalone verb. So it's is, am, are, was, were, be, being, and been. So those are your state of existence or your to be linking verbs because they're all forms of the verb to be. Our other linking verbs, our condition linking verbs, are what are known as the grabs 5, which is not the best name given what you'll see in a moment. But you've got grow, remain, appear, become, and seems as your grabs. That also includes other tenses of that. So grow, grows, growing, grew, remained, remains, appears, became. So make sure you keep the tense in mind for those. I didn't write all of them out for you. And then the 5 is your 5 sense nouns. So your 5 senses, the verb form of those. So look, that's your eyes, smell, that's your nose, sound is your ears, feel is your hands, taste is your mouth. But you can use those as non-action verbs for those conditional linking verbs. The other two that don't really fit into the pattern of grabs 5 are the word turn and its other forms and stay. Again, not turn like you are turning around, but the condition form of turn. So it's more like the grabs to 5, but we just call it the grabs 5, and then make sure you note those other two. So now that we have our list of the different types of linking verbs, we're going to look at how they work in sentences, how to determine if something is a linking verb or an action verb. So one way you can tell if you're working with a linking verb is by what else is in our sentence. So when we talk about transitive action verbs, we talked about that direct object. A linking verb is always going to have what's known as a subject complement. So a linking verb connects the subject of the sentence to the subject complement, which is a noun, pronoun, or adjective that identifies or describes the subject that comes after the subject and verb in a sentence. So if we go back to that, the man is a famous actor sentence, our verb is, it's one of our to be linking verbs. Our subject is man. And what comes after the subject and verb that renames, identifies, or describes the subject is actor. So we take that verb is and it connects the man, who is our subject, with what identifies him, which is our subject complement. Man is actor. Famous is just a modifier giving us more information. Same with the and a. So we've got the subject complement. Now, complement is not spelled the same way as if I said to you, I really like your shirt. Complement with the E means that it goes along with something. So if I were to say that that color complements, your hair, that would be a partnership. So that's why we call it a subject complement. So if we go back again to the I am weird, Miss Beck is weird, literature teachers are weird, the subject complement in each of those sentences is the word weird. It's an adjective that is describing the subject in each sentence. And the linking verb, am, is, or are, is linking the subject, so I, Miss Beck, teachers, to that subject complement, weird. It is connecting those two things. Now, if we look at one of the Grab's 5 linking verbs with felt, the girl felt happy. Felt is our linking verb. Girl is our subject. And then happy is our subject complement. In this case, it's an adjective that is describing the subject, girl. And felt is our linking verb that connects those two things together. Girl felt happy. Same thing with the man is a famous actor. Our linking verb to be form is, man is our subject, actor is that subject complement. It's a noun in this case because it's identifying the subject. Now, this is where you can run into some trouble. Some of the Grab's 5 linking verbs, grows, remains, appears, becomes, seems, and your 5 sense verbs can also function as actions. And so if you're not sure from just the sentence itself whether it's working as an action or it's working as a linking verb, there are a couple tricks that you can try to make that easier. So if we say the air felt warm, some of you might go, that's obviously a linking verb. I don't know why anyone would think that's an action, but felt can be an action. You can physically feel something. You can put your hand out, you can touch it, and you can feel it. So you have to think about, is the subject actually performing an action here, or is this a state of existence or a condition? Is the air reaching out and touching something and feeling it with its hands, its fingers, or whatever air might have? Or are we just saying that the air is a certain type of way? Same thing with the next sentence. The surfer felt the wave crash. Is that an action? Is the surfer feeling something physically, or is this a state of existence, a condition? Are we saying the surfer is something? Now, some of you might be looking at those going, yeah, I know which one the action is. I know which one the linking verb is, but they're not always super easy. And some of you might be looking at them going, I don't know which one is which. I don't know if they're each one or they're both the same. So I'm going to teach you a little trick that's kind of fun that you can do if you are in a situation like this, because some action linking verb combinations are a little bit more difficult than others. So the trick here, if you're not sure, is to substitute one of those to be linking verbs, am, are, or is, depending on the sentence, for the verb in your original sentence. And if the sentence then makes sense and doesn't change the meaning, it's a linking verb. So we said, and I'm sorry it's a little cut off by my face, the air felt warm. I can change felt to am, are, or is. In this case, I need is. And I can say the air is warm. The sentence still makes sense grammatically, and it doesn't really change the meaning of the sentence. The sentence truly is about the temperature of the air. So saying it felt warm or it is warm essentially keeps the same meaning, which means felt in the air felt warm is a linking verb. Now, if I look at the next sentence, the surfer felt the wave, and I use the same pattern to test it, I would then be saying the surfer is the wave. Now, grammatically, that is a sentence, but is the meaning the same thing? In the first one, the surfer is either reaching out and touching the wave or feeling the wave on their body while they're surfing. In the second one, we're getting into this weird, we are all one with the universe moment of the surfer is the wave. Now, if you surf, sometimes it might feel like that, but that changes the meaning of the original sentence. It's not the same sentence anymore, which means that the surfer felt the wave is the action form of felt. So if you want to have some fun with it, the mangoes taste sweet versus I taste the mangoes. One of those is an action verb. One of those is a linking verb. And if you use the test for it, if you change the verb into one of those forms of the verb to be, sorry about that, and we say the mangoes are sweet, is that essentially the same thing versus I am the mangoes? So I taste the mangoes is an action verb. Now you might have known that. You're like, oh, I'm tasting it. That's a physical thing. But if you test it with is, am, are, I am the mangoes, it just makes me think of I am the walrus. And then the mangoes taste sweet. The mangoes are sweet. It's still the same overall meaning for that sentence. So we know in that case, we are working with a linking verb.